All right. Hi, everybody. We're back. It's time to talk about social media. I know that every time, wherever I'm at, whichever group on Facebook, really a community on Facebook I'm on, I always get asked, well, can you talk about social media? Well, I couldn't really do it before I talked about marketing, and there's so much more to marketing, but really want to jump into social media marketing now. And I made myself a little cheat sheet here. So if you see me look to the side, it's where I'm looking because I'm trying to stay focused on the topic. There's really a lot to cover. So I'm just going to focus on some basic things, an introduction to social media before getting into more detail in the next video. So hi, if you're new here, I'm Dr. Anya Najewska. I am a faculty in business. Listen to the video and learn a little bit about marketing and social media marketing. So let's get to it. So what is social media? Well, social media are the online means of communication, conveyance, collaboration, and cultivation among interconnected and interdependent networks of people, communities, and organizations, enhanced by technology, capability, and mobility. Got that? Yes, I know, it was fun. So what is it really? So in the summary, it really is a place, or thanks to technologies and platforms, it is a place, or it's a really online means of communicating, okay? Communicating, collaborating, and cultivation among other people or organizations. It's networks of people who are connected one way or another, and this is thanks to technology. So the communication can take place online. All right, we have different types of communication. You can have sort of a timely communication when you interact immediately, so it's instant, or you can have delayed communication. So let's think about Facebook, for example. You can go in a chat and have a conversation instantly, or even on the wall, you can interact, communicate, post and comment, and get a reply instantly. At the same time, you can have a delayed communication. You can post something and then come back. Somebody can comment, and then you can come back and comment later, right? Now, in terms of other types of communication, they can be a disappearing types of communication where, for example, your whether it's Snapchat, or you can have your stories on whether Facebook and Instagram, where they disappear after 24 hours and your chance to view them has passed. So you need to be fairly timely to view those, and to view that type of communication. So now that we know what really a social media is, it's a good time to kind of look back or step back and think about, why are we even talking about social media? Well, the reality is this, that it wasn't always present. This technology, the internet, is, well, some would say not very new, but it is fairly new. The adoption of of new technologies, internet, and then social media was pretty fast, right? It took very little time to be adopted by many people. So as an example, we have Facebook, one of the platforms where where there are very many people on it, right? But you know which social medium is the most engaging? It's Instagram. The engagement, how many people scroll through or comment within a minute or every minute, has increased the most for the Instagram from 2018 to 2019. And again, the engagement is the highest. However, before you start posting all over Instagram, make sure then your target audience is also there. It may not be there, so you may be wasting effort. effort posting on Instagram versus somewhere else. So make sure that your target audience is there, but that is a topic for another video. Okay, so let's continue here. So what is social media marketing? Social media marketing is the utilization of social media technologies, channels, and software to create, communicate, deliver, and exchange offerings that have value for an organization's stakeholders. To create, communicate, deliver, and exchange offerings. This sounds very, very familiar. I hope so, at least. If you saw my first video on what is marketing or marketing is, then this sounds a lot like definition of marketing, except for the part when I talk about utilization of social media technology, channels, and software to create, deliver, and so on. So a big chunk of it is actually definition of marketing, and the social media part comes when we talk about technologies and channels and software, right? Which means that there needs to be similarity between your marketing objectives and social media objective. Now, when it comes to social media objectives, there probably will be and should be much more specific and to the point for your social media marketing strategy, because social media is different than any other. So it's different than your billboard out there or your radio. What social media allows us as companies, it allows us to have a conversation or engage our customer in a two-way communication. It's not passive. It's not a passive downward communication to the customer. It is an interaction. It's a two-way street. So you may be posting something and you may get immediate feedback. In fact, I recommend that you always have some sort of call to action, whether it is comment, visit, ask a question, send us a message, subscribe, whatever it may be. Call to action. Ask the customer to engage with you so that it is a two-way communication, that it is a dialogue versus a monologue, okay? So back to marketing and social media objectives, the goal here is to increase awareness, okay? Influence desire, encourage trial, facilitate purchase, cement brand loyalty, and recover from service failures. So first things first, increase awareness. The chances are that when you're a new company or you're trying to expand your customer base, that your potential customer, doesn't know who you are, what you offer. So you need to communicate that, you need to inform and increase awareness. What is it that you do? What do you offer? What value? What can customer expect from the product? Again, takes me back to previous video. Make sure you watch it. Okay? Then influence desire. You want the customer to want it. Why? You need to communicate the reason for wanting your product over somebody else's. Here's what makes it different. Again, don't make any claims that you can't match. Again, back to expectations or value or what not to do with my previous videos, so watch them. Encourage trial. Trial is like an initial commitment the customer has or makes. It's a step toward purchase. In retail, if a customer picks up the product and starts to, touch it, sniff it, smells good. It's a step toward purchase. You want them to do that. You want them to try. You want them to sniff. Over social media, they can. So you can post a pretty picture and promise the look of it. We can try to explain video in use. It's a very effective way, especially on Instagram. Instagram likes movement. And then facilitate purchase. When the opportunity arises, when the customer wants to purchase, you want to enable that. Cement brand loyalty. Well, you promised the customer that you'll deliver. The customer had certain expectation. Based on these expectations and perhaps trial, the customer said, yes, I want to buy it. Hopefully, you managed the expectations well enough. You provided a quality product for the customer to try it, love it. So you met the expectations and created a satisfied customer. But like I told you last time, satisfaction is not the same as loyalty. It's a prerequisite. Doesn't guarantee loyalty, but it's a prerequisite to loyalty. So you make sure that your customer is satisfied. You build relationship with the customer on trust, on reliability, quality product, superior service. So the customer begins to come back, build relationship, become loyal. Identify with you as an organization. I'll talk about it a little later, but basically considers your brand an extension to self. They feel that you are part of them, which will help you to recover from service failures. Now, keep in mind, every organization, every business at some point will fail. The organization that has customers that are really loyal or identified with it is the organization that will recover from failure well. The customers are very forgiving if you have a good relationship built on trust and you deliver product that is of high quality and a product that delivers value that you promise to deliver. Okay? So these are broad marketing objectives and social media objectives that you definitely can see overlap, but social media objectives, you need to be much more specific. And then marketing plan too, you have to be more specific than just that. You have to give a timeline and so on. And exactly what you want to achieve, what kind of awareness, okay? So let's move to one more thing I want to cover, and it's LARA model. Listen, analyze, relate, and act on. Listen to your customer, okay? Listen to your customer, what the customer has to say, listen to customer conversations. When it comes to social media, it may mean entering groups where your customer is. See what they talk about, what's important to them. I don't mean, if you're a maker, soap maker, or skincare maker, I don't mean Saponification Nation, or I don't mean For the Love of Soap with Nurture Soap. There are great groups, excellent groups, in fact, for soap makers. You probably won't find your consumers there. You learn from each other as business owners or artists, but you will not find the customer there. So you need to find a group or a place where your customers are. What is it that they're talking about? What interests them? What is their problem? Analyze those conversations. Think about them. Relate that to information related information to within the enterprise system, or just figure out what you're going to do with it. Okay, if you're the only person there, figure it out what you're going to do with it. How are you going to act on those conversations? Perhaps they're seeking a value that you can already deliver with your product, but you weren't sure what they were really seeking. So your communication, when you communicated to the customer, is not what they wanted to hear. So you can refocus and be much more specific in what you communicate. What are you marketing? What are you communicating to your customer? What value it is? What expectations are you setting? So that is a general overview of social media. Keep in mind that some people, the younger generation, that there are social media natives that have had social media around them their entire lives, while others are fairly new to social media. There are social media immigrants and internet immigrants. Technology hasn't always been there. I am not only social media immigrant, I'm an immigrant in general. So there may be a difference between those who are social media immigrants and those who are social media natives. In fact, we know that the differences are, so we'll cover there next time. Make sure that your target audience is on the platform you're trying to adopt, and make sure you communicate that value that the customer is seeking truthfully, so you can build relationship on trust. I think that's it for today. Let's make sure you review what we've covered. We talked about what social media is. We talk about it. We talk about marketing objectives. We talk about communities and networks of people who may be interacting with one another, and the differences or similarities between marketing and social media marketing objectives. Now, think about it. Take a moment to think about that. I hope it will help you to move along to my next video that I will be posting in a few days. And if you find it useful, please give it a thumbs up. Please remember that it is an introduction and we'll get into a little bit more depth as we go along. And if you want to hear more from me, please subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye.